This trust name, but yeah, that's fine, man. Don't worry. Indeed, we're getting some much weird news. But hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great and grand. And how are you doing, Lone? Lone? As you can see, yet again, he always fucks off to Pisk. But don't worry, we have our lovely friend Hannes here of Grey Cat Gaming. How are you doing?
Biological pressures wait for no man.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
As you can see, Hannes, I've chosen a very interesting picture. Now, as is obviously tradition when we start, is this CGI?
No, but it's a very cute doggo.
So is this dog? Have we finally found it in Elden Ring? Is this dog?
I mean, it's not an Elden Ring dog.
Not yet, no.
They're either terrifying T-Rexes or little turtles, you know?
So how have you been playing Elden Ring so far? Like, how far have you gotten?
Not that far. Not that
Visions
far.
of
I mean,
dog.
so obviously, like I played it for 20-ish hours,
Yes.
but for Elden Ring, that is like nothing.
Yeah, that's about 15 seconds, I think. I
Yeah,
played
no, I
I
mean
played
like,
a
but it is
great
like
deal.
25%, I guess, of the game, maybe somewhere around there.
You can probably like smash through it. I think someone's completed it in like an hour, like total.
Oh no, no, the current um world record for speedrunning is sub 30 minutes already.
Oh God, do you think Lorne will start his very first game of Elden Ring with a speed run?
I don't think so because the current speed run, like that 30 minutes, is obviously like an any percent run, and any percent run uses glitches, and I
Ah,
don't think
okay.
that's enjoyable for your first run. If I understood it correctly, the speed run tactic, they somehow glitched the game so that the bosses don't even attack you or anything.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But yes, while we wait for Learn, there will be some. Obviously, you can mention the Tarkov story when we get to it, much to Lone's chagrin, most likely. We have some Elden Ring stories. We have a story about the Batman, Dave Batman,
Yep, yep.
um, and some lovely catch up stories from things we've already covered. Such as, do you remember the lovely thing about the Ever Given?
Yes, yes,
Well,
yes.
well,
I know
that's
this
back
story.
in the news.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen this.
Because
Yep.
hot damn. But yes, after this, I believe we're going to be heading straight after we finish Weird News, which should be about an hour or so. We'll be most likely going to your channel, Anas. What will you be playing?
Um, I was thinking to either do some more Jump King, but I was also wondering if you actually wanted to try out some Prop and Seek.
Ooh, I'd be down actually. Yeah, I'd be
Oh,
down.
crack open a cold one.
That's your stream, Lorne.
No, it's
You've just
all
went to
streams.
you've just went to
It's
Pisk.
all, it's all streams. There's never a bad occasion to crack open a cold one.
But
Ugh.
Lorne,
Anyway, yes.
I've asked Hannes, and Hannes is in agreement with me that this is CGI.
Yeah.
No, no, I don't think it is.
It is
No,
also a cat.
100%.
I think this is just a dog.
Is
No,
dog?
that kind of dog doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Complete
No, it's
fabrication.
I
conspiracy.
mean, it looks nothing like the dogs in Elden Ring. That's for sure.
Yep.
No, we did mention that. But yes, let us start with something from the past. Do either of you remember LimeWire?
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
Remember, used it? Yes.
Well,
That place was a horrendous place of like scum and villainy.
you'll
I
never
believe.
guess. It's Lorne. It's coming back
Oh,
as a
God.
new home for scum and villainy, as a sharing service backed with NFTs.
Aren't NFTs dead yet, or at least dying?
Yeah, they're pretty much dead.
I
We
don't know. I don't
covered
know
that
about that.
about 1% of the people who own crypto own NFTs. There was a big push, like when we covered it.
Oh yeah.
There was a big push by marketing companies to try and go, oh, please buy NFT, but no one cares.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
no,
I
I
don't-
mean, like, they're definitely like not as many people own it, but they still have their limelight in the news, though, don't they? And now Japanese voice actresses are doing NFTs.
Oh God.
Yeah, also
What,
in the
like
in
just
the
small
news this
audio
week.
clips, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so.
But the thing is though, that kind of makes sense. Like that's by design. Like when you think about how they presented NFTs as like what it can mean for like artists, or like or anything in that kind of vein, like that's probably is okay.
Yes, I
If,
have to
like,
agree.
It's but the problem is that it just spans off into absolute absurdity.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, it does.
but in terms of like people making merch NFTs and it's their own content, that's absolutely fine. That's what it was meant to be. So So I won't throw shade at them for that.
Well,
Um,
Lorne, we've mentioned NFTs many times on this podcast, and like we've covered a lot of stories over God, like it must have been like at least a year we've been doing this, if not longer.
what about NFTs specifically?
No, not. We've covered many stories, but the story I want to talk about is to see if you can remember a story from way back when, at the start of the Great Plague, about the Ever Given, the ship.
Potentially. I would need a bit more of a nudge than that.
Something about the
stuck.
sewers. Yes.
Oh, that one. Oh, right.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of the ship, man.
The Ever Given, the one that was stuck in the Suez Canal. Well,
Yes, yeah.
it had a cousin ship, and
Is that stuck in
that
the
cousin
Suez
ship
Canal?
is stuck aground in the U.S. harbor.
Oh. It would have been better if it was in the Suez Canal.
That would have been worse for all of us, I think, actually.
Well, yes, but it would have been funnier. It would have been a better headline for weird news.
Oh, it definitely would have been, but it would have been horrible because we're already getting pretty screwed over with supply lines, right?
Yeah.
Well, yes. Yes.
But you're all right. You're all right. It would have been funnier, but
Mom,
not better.
these here. We've got to show them.
Well, Lorne, another story we covered as well. Do you remember the world's giant potato, the one that they were going to make mash out of, the one that they put forward for the Guinness World Book of Records?
Yes, I do vaguely remember that.
Now, Lorne, we've had some DNA analysis. We've sent in the scientists, and we found out that this potato is in fact not a potato.
What?
I know, it is a complete lie. For this potato is... what was it again? I can't remember.
What is it?
tuber. A YouTuber.
A YouTuber?
A YouTuber.
Oh, like a tuber kind
Yeah,
of.
it's a
okay,
tuber.
Yeah.
It's not a potato. So it's not allowed to...
It's not allowed to be the world's biggest potato.
no, it's not, unfortunately.
Damn.
They had to do like DNA analysis to check it, and then they were just like, no, how dare you suggest such a thing? I mean, they're still
Well-
going to make some sort of mash out of it.
As long as it tastes good, then
That's the
happy
question.
days.
Yeah,
I would hope they've already made this match. How long is this potato, not potato,
it's
gonna
been
keep?
a while, Lorne. It's been a good while that
I
they've
hope
had
at
this
least they've
potato just
kept
on the
it-
rocks.
Yeah, I hope they've at least like kept it, like frozen or something.
It's
Turns
Fiji.
out it's Fiji. is
The
Fiji that small? I know it's like not a big place, but is it actually like
Fiji
as
is a
far
place.
as
It's quite small, Fiji.
like in terms
I
of
don't
like
think it's
grand
the size
scale
of a potato,
islands?
though, Lorne. No,
It's not tuber sized. No.
it's not like tuber sized.
No, I get that bit, man. But I was more thinking along the lines.
Are you
of,
sure? You sounded awful.
I mean, like,
Is
That
it the
is
size of a
what-
potato though?
is
And
it the
people
size
live
of a...
there.
Honestly, if the potato's big enough, then sure.
What are you planning to emigrate all of Fiji onto
Oh,
this
it's one
potato?
of the bigger. It's one of the bigger islands. Oh, we could have made a much better analogy with a smaller nation.
I mean, is it
America.
Am I completely misremembering here? But I actually think that Taiwan is called like Sweet Potato Island or something like that.
Is
because it's
it?
kind of shaped like it. Yeah, it's kind of shaped like a sweet potato.
I
Like a
did not know.
Jagaimo.
What more?
Did you? Jagaimo.
Jagaimo.
Jagaimo?
Yeah.
Jagaimo.
I
Or
Okay.
Satsuma Imo. Or whatever.
yeah.
Did you
yes.
ever-
You're talking Japanese, making you confused.
What? Yeah, I mean, well, you the thing is, you and many of the Discord know Japanese like as another language. I didn't study with you guys, so I don't know Japanese. You
Ah,
want
you
to
missed
know
out.
you want to know about traditional Japanese players? I studied that.
I watched one. It was terrible.
Well, to be fair, no is very slow. I do have to agree with you that no is a
Wait.
very slow art form.
Hannes, did you see the
yeah.
No production?
No, I
No.
I think it might have been in the second half. Like that's what I know. It was either in the first or the second half.
Yeah, but it's partly that, but also partly that I was hungover for a lot of times that we were gonna go on trips, so I missed a lot of them.
It's
The
because
the optimal way of getting out of any student thing.
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
well, Kajitsu Ken would be able to back me up, but I'm pretty sure
Oh,
like
yeah,
we
no,
pissed off
he
some of
had
the
a.
locals because we left the no production like during the interim. We just like left and just never came back.
You know, it's funny that you bring
Just-
it up because I actually just remembered he talked about it on Weird News a week or two ago when
Yes.
you
Oh
weren't
shit.
available.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how since you left mid production, some of the people from the like serious business Japanese study course program got a little bit offended.
Oh yeah, the GLCC students. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they were like, "Oh my god, that's so embarrassing." I'm just like, "Man, I
How
don't
dare you?
understand anything." It's like
You
I'm
have
just,
caused confusion and delay.
you know,
just
we
I'm
went
not
to
having a good
the.
time.
No, exactly, and I feel like it's kind of probably the similar thing too. We went to the New Year's Day speech by the Emperor in Shinjuku Park, Tokyo.
Oh wow, okay.
They hold like a New Year's Day speech from like a temple, if I'm not misremembering. But anyway, the thing is that like, so I know a bit of Japanese. Cupcake Frog, who was with me, know way more. But the Emperor speaks in a Japanese that nobody understands, not even Japanese people.
Yeah, yeah, isn't it like a like all of his like attendants have to know this very special Japanese to be able to
Yeah,
converse with him and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So like, I'm
Well,
sure that not even the Japanese people who were in attendance, they probably didn't understand him either.
well, the significance of this dog is best boy. For dog is best boy.
It's a fluffy
But
boy.
we start every stream with a kind of a resting picture, because Lorne can't tell the difference between a real life picture and something that is CGI,
You know, I
I'm
think that they
just
and
should
it's
saying.
doing
become a
like
common
every card
thing.
should be CGI though. Because so far we're on a track record of like 5 out of 5 has been non CGI. I think it's time to actually
Well,
throw
the
in
thing
a
No,
the
no,
thing is
last
that no,
last week was CGI.
last
Was
week
it?
was CGI, and that really
Ah, I
messed with
missed
Lorne.
it.
It was
Ah,
a room setting, but it was using Blender to create that room setting. But
sad I missed that.
speaking of using CGI to create things, so obviously we were talking about Asia, and like in Korea, they do politics a little bit differently. Like a few weeks ago, we talked about how one person was using deepfake technology to run as a candidate, but
Yeah.
this is some of the other stuff that they're doing. Like the presidential coverage is completely insane. Like there's this place called SBS, which I assume is the channel that just goes absolutely bananas with its animations to show like the candidates like murdering each other in like Game of Thrones style. Um like there's one where they're like playing a Wii Sports or Olympic style thing. Um like
This is definitely the way to get the common people interested in politics.
it's
Oh no,
so
no, no!
bizarre.
I tell you what, they've missed a trick here. They've went too hard on the professionalism angle. They should have honestly just made me's of all the candidates and actually just have them throwing down in Wii Sports.
What like
Like
I
basically
wonder
it'd
if
be the
people.
legend of Matt. They could have the candidates like have an arc where they have to team up to take down Matt.
Oh god.
So like you guys know it. Hannes, you must know the Matt meme, right?
The Matt meme?
Yeah, like if you
Oh,
type in
in Wii Sports?
yeah, he's just like he's a
Yes.
bog standard me design called
Yeah, yeah.
Matt. It's just like
And this is the one that you
he's
have
the
to
raid
beat
boss.
for like the sword fighting one, correct?
Pretty much anything, man. They just like the whole crowd of them just do what they do.
I actually just did a quick googling on Matt Wii Sports to see if I remember who he was correctly. And the first thing is that, somewhat widely considered to be the best to me, he's only ranked 53 out of the Wii Sport Resort CPUs.
God.
So yeah, I think he might just be that he shows up a lot, but he's actually not the best. But this is absolutely insane. The
Yeah, this
Like,
is
the politics
craziness.
is
With these like things, like I don't think you'd really catch like this in the UK I don't know. I don't know what Sweden's like. Maybe you'd get them in Sweden, like crazy
No.
political ads.
I mean, it's just is this like actual endorsement or is this satire?
Well, no, it's not endorsement for the people. This is they're meant to be like poll numbers. Like they're meant to be like
Mm-hmm.
the actual channels doing like political races to show like how much they're ahead. So like in
Oh, well,
this
that- well,
Mad Max
that's-
one, obviously, as you can see, this person statistically was at like 57.8%. So
I mean,
they're going to
it
win the
makes a
race.
bit more. It makes a bit more sense then, right? Because it's satire. It's like it's if it would be a lot more concerning if the political party was like commissioning this as their like propaganda for the for the vote.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
But
they did do it with the deepfake because the deepfake was like we covered it like last week and the
but
week
yeah.
before. That
Yeah,
was actual propaganda.
but that's just some old guy who's painfully out of touch with young people and thinks the only way that he can convince them to give them his vote is
Use the
to-
awesome power of deepfake.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously, there's loads of famous people now. Let's move on to food, shall we? I know we all love our food. Are they into Mad Max? That's the That is a very good question. Like, imagine if they got like really specific questions, like if they had seen these poll number things, and then they're just like, "So, what are your views on Mad Max?
Mad Max or Waterworld?
Do tell." But
What do you prefer and why?
But yes, since famous people have gotten their own brands, say Danny DeVito has limoncello, which is a drink, and Snoop Dogg obviously has his weed brand. What do you think Mike Tyson has brought to the culinary world?
Well, I know, so I'm not gonna guess.
Okay,
Is he took over the reins from George Foreman and released
that
a
would be a
lean,
great
mean,
idea.
lean, mean, fat reducing griller machine?
That would be nice, yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
good. But Hannes, do you want to give away the answer?
Yeah, it is ear-shaped weed jellies.
Yes, that is correct. Mike Tyson is making pot edibles in the shape of his bitten ear.
Oh my god. It's not his bit, and
Yeah,
it's the
that's
one
true.
he bit.
Yeah.
Nom nom. Ear soup. Yummy.
Is it to like capture the moment where he got high off this person's blood and flesh?
It's very bizarre. Like I'll scroll down so you can see what the actual gummies look like. They're a bit strange.
Oh.
They're called Mike
yeah.
Bites.
Mike bites.
I guess if you don't get them, that's what he's going to do to you.
Yeah, I agree with Sol. Can you imagine being Evander Holyfield, like the person who got his ear bit, and just seeing this? It must be such a fucking
Like
slap in the face. Like you're just
Do
like,
you, do you think like if he
years
sued,
after
it's,
the fact.
do you think if he sued, he would just get like a settlement? Seems like easy money to me.
I mean,
It's like, hey,
I
I'll
think they
take
should give him something. Like, you know what I mean? Like
a complimentary
a
pack.
complimentary
Like
ear.
a year's supply of Mike bites.
Yummy. I do like my
It's
complimentary
gonna
ear.
take your edge off, Evander. Just have some of this, and you won't care about the ear anymore.
Well, I mean, I suppose that is true though. He won't really care anymore because he'll be so high.
Yeah, you'll just think it was. You gotta laugh about it, haven't you?
That's
It's
true.
like, yeah, he is God, man. You just
Like,
gotta laugh.
I mean, we've covered a lot of stuff. There has been Gaming Girl Bathwater, as you mentioned. There's been loads of just weird shit that people are marketing. I mean, at least this is edible.
You know, that actually reminds me of like weird stuff that people market. It reminds me of the British guy who sold air to the Chinese.
Oh yeah, you can
What?
actually, to be fair, you
Yeah,
can now
yeah.
buy bottled air still.
Yeah, exactly. He bottled air and sold it to like Chinese people.
What is in like?
Yeah, just
Like, on
British countryside air.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
like air of the
is this-
Highlands, which you literally just go with a plastic bottle, scoop up some air, and close the lid.
But was he selling it on a kind of like business to business scale, or in a like, come on, get your British countryside air
Oh,
while
that
stocks
I.
last. Come
Well,
on,
I
get
don't.
yourself down.
I certainly don't know about this individual. However, there is a actual website where you can just buy air. I think the Americans seem to like it, but then again, you know, it's a vast generalization.
Man, that's like
Yeah.
it's like some hot jank. That's some hot business jank right there.
Some business. Got that business.
Business.
So, obviously, I don't think. I mean, they might taste good, but I don't think I really want to eat ears. You know what I mean? But
I mean, like that's you've probably ate a lot worse in candy form. Is the thing.
well, there's a brand of bottled air that costs $400 a bottle.
It's insane.
I'm not
Ah.
surprised though. They'll probably be like,
I mean,
"This air
Do-
is not just any air. This is Alaskan mounted air, where
The thing
only
is-
you can get the finest air."
the thing is though, this is the same planet Earth that sells Gamer Girl bathwater, and I
Yeah.
swear to God,
You
in
are
the
going.
same
When are you
vein,
going to sell
there's
some?
probably going to be some Gamer Girl ass air
What
as
the
well.
fuck
Somebody's
is wrong with
probably
you?
doing. I'm just telling you, this is you
God.
think it's weird that they'll pay $400 for a bottle of regular air. Like, there's probably some people out there who get a kick out
Oh,
of
God.
buying fart air.
Well,
I'm
let's
just saying.
keep on the topic of food, but something a bit more. I definitely say
You
it's
don't want to
more...
talk more about farts.
No, well, I mean, I mean,
Sure.
this probably tastes just as bad, but I really don't know. So, I don't think it's super common here. It feels super common in like America, like in the big open stretches where there's vast roads. What do you think of roadkill? So, Hannes, you to start.
About roadkill, I mean, it's sad. In Sweden, it can be kind of dangerous because like the largest roadkill we'd have would be moose, and that's you don't want a moose in your car.
Yep.
But besides that,
I feel like your car would come off a lot worse than the moose.
yes, absolutely, depending on car and where you hit the moose.
I mean, yeah, the moose. You say it as if like the moose doesn't give a shit. I think the moose is pretty upset that it's been hit by a car. It's still
yeah, I
like-
mean, absolutely, it's not a fucking tank. It's still gonna get hurt, obviously.
No. The ultimate weapon.
But like, and cars nowadays, when they like hit anything, right? Because they're made to crumple nowadays, so like any impact's gonna look pretty bad.
Well,
Yeah.
What do you think, Lon? What do you think about roadkill? The idea mainly is that you don't want waste. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'll do before I get your opinion, Lon, I'll show you the story. See if you think this idea is good, and maybe it'll sway your opinion. So,
Okay.
Road to Table. Wyoming has got a new app for claiming roadkill. So if something is hit on the road, they claim the roadkill, cook it up so nothing goes to waste.
Uh-huh. Honestly,
Like-
I don't. I like the thing is though is that there's not really a problem here, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is the problem?
Well,
Is
I
the
think
thing.
it's, I
Fair
think it's
enough.
more of, I think it's more of the idea that it's roadkill. When you associate, this idea, it's like
Who-
ew. But I mean, people
who
eat bugs,
cares,
so
though?
it doesn't matter.
Like,
Oh, wait,
who
so-
cares?
I'm sorry, I missed. Like they're claiming the roadkill, but what are they claiming the roadkill for? For the
To
eating?
eat.
Yes, to eat.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
eat.
the idea is to eat the roadkill.
Yeah. So roadkill
Oh.
is like a terminology. It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah. That I
eat-
know.
eat it. The thing is
But-
though, is it like what's the problem? It's like as long as the meat is tread after the fact as it's being prepared, what's the difference between it getting killed by a car or being killed by like a surgical insertion?
That's
That
true.
can depend. I mean, like
I mean,
obviously these people surely know how to handle meat, but there is a reason why like there's butchering procedure, right? Like if you just crush all the like liver and stomach and that like goes out, like you can't have that meat in the same way.
I mean, it is a strange thing. Like, yeah, ugh.
I mean,
the idea
if
of
that's
just the stomach.
if that's going to be the case, then yeah. But like I said, the presumption is that whoever's claiming this has to know how to
Yeah.
make the sight read and say, okay, I can probably make a meal out of this.
Well, just so you know,
Because
the idea is that like when you either hit the car, so it's not the idea that it's old. So just so people in chat, it's just like it's old. It's like when it's hit or if you see it, you use the app and then it goes bing bing. There's a thing over here. Grab the deer, take it to a restaurant, I guess. But as Boris was saying, the Americans seem to really like it. Well, I'm not saying all Americans. I'm saying it's quite common. But then again, like the reason it's not that common here alone is we've talked about the UK in regards to its biodiversity. There's not a great deal. I mean, we have deer and we have like a couple of foxes, but they're mainly in the forest. They're not really in the roads. Ever.
yeah, they don't tend to mingle with
Cars.
because also as well as that I'm pretty sure Wyoming's like quite central, right? It's when you get to those central states, aren't they like quite just expansive?
Badgers.
So
yeah, they are.
it's
They are.
so it's like so to an animal, there's probably not enough commotion to move. So
Yeah.
fair enough, you've got a road here, a road there, but it's like they're not going to say like, "Oh, there's too many humans now." It's
No.
like,
Yeah,
no.
they're normally vast stretches of land. Isn't Arkansas or Arkansas or whatever it's called?
Arkansas. Yeah.
Isn't it Arkansas?
It's Arkansas.
Is it? I thought it was
Yeah, it is.
Arkansas.
No,
Yeah, it's
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Like I've heard some people call it Arkansas as a joke, but I don't think I'm pretty sure it's Arkansas.
No. There's Kansas, but then there's Arkansas.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
Is that
but
blowing your mind?
That's the way it is.
No, because I'm pretty sure that every time I've heard it spoken, I've heard it spoken as Arkansas. Like I've not based that
Really?
based on my opinion. I'm just pretty sure that's how I've heard it.
I've only ever heard
being
it.
said.
I mean, I've only ever heard it as Arkansas, but Arkansas. I've heard people say it is. I felt it was more of a joke, but I guess maybe it's one of those things. It's like
Might be a dialect thing.
Narlands, isn't it? Like the traditional way of saying New Orleans.
Anyway,
suppose
the
it could-
badger discussion thing actually brings up a good point. Like for me, like here's this like caught an elk on the road, and an elk roadkill. Like sure, I could probably do that as again depending on like not stomach having exploded all over it and so far, but a more or less clean car kill. A badger, I'm not so sure.
Mm.
I mean, like
Well-
the smaller the animal, the more internal damage you would.
Yeah, I don't really think
assume.
like if a car hits a rat, then you're gonna go. I could make a patty out of that.
Yeah, but I'm assuming I'm assuming a clean car hit on both of them here.
Yeah.
So
But
whatever that is, I don't fucking know. I don't hunt with cars
Lon,
or at all. But I still don't think the badger meat was like.
no, I
spectacular.
wouldn't go for badger meat. But Lon, we have some report from the chat. You are wrong. It is Arkansas. It is not Arkansas. Whose Kansas is it? It's Arkansas. It's no one else's. It's Arkansas, not yours.
I mean, I don't know, man. I've got enough of my own words which just don't sound anything like they should do. So, whatever. Just another one of the pile.
But
English language is freaking stupid.
But
That's
speaking
basically the
As a
same.
second language learner, I agree.
as a language learner, it's one of those word speakers.
No, just as a second language speaker of English, that kind of thing definitely came. Well, more often when I was still learning than I am now, I suppose. But still, yeah.
Mm.
If you're not hunting with a car, you ain't hunting. Damn, there's the truth.
There's the facts.
The ultimate weapon.
I
Car.
only hunt with car and dynamite. Oh, hunt with car,
What
fish
in
with
like
dynamite.
where they panned for gold. That they were the ultimate weapons when panning for gold. Cars and dynamite. But speaking of places that no one knows about, like Arkansas, have you ever heard of Henderson Island?
No.
No. Or at least not immediately.
Well,
Is that off
Henderson
Caleb?
Island was marked on charts in the completely wrong place for 85 years.
So when was this updated? Like now?
Yes.
How far off was it?
A decent way. Not like super far off, but like off its most charts. It's named after Henderson. But yeah, not super far off, but it was pretty far off. Like they'd been running off dodgy information.
Interesting. But I see like the subheader to this
Yes.
article seems completely removed from.
The fact that it's been in the wrong
Well,
place. Yeah, I noticed
so
that
so
too.
the reason why there's a subheader is because just like you and Hannes, no one really knows about this place. So they're trying to bring some sort of clarity to it. In a nutshell, like hundreds of pieces of plastic, like hundreds of thousands of pieces of plastic, wash up on this island. It's so bizarre. So although it looks pretty from the little picture at the bottom, if you look at that lovely white beach on the side, covered in plastic.
Mm. That is a
That is
a
sad.
shame.
Yeah, that is damn shame.
But
Damn shame. God.
let's go to some unfortunate news. Lorne, have you ever made a purchase and then regretted it the next day?
I mean, that hasn't everyone? I'm trying to think what the last one I would have made was.
This is where the second your goal gets filled up on your stream, the purchase will be Elden Ring, because you'll get your ass handed to you by Margaret.
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like, of course, it's going to be my first Souls experience, so I'm expecting to get my ass kicked. But I'm honestly not expecting to have it kicked beyond problem. Like, I mean, I do play games. I feel like it's just another game to get
One of
used
those pesky games.
to.
You are a gamer? Is that what you're saying?
What is this game
I'm
you speak of?
one of those gamers.
Holy shit.
May have heard of them.
But
I
what
think
about
the latest purchase that I did that I regret is well, I guess somewhat regret, but it's a T-shirt. I thought
Okay.
it had a print in the front, but it actually has like a large print on the back. I wasn't a fan of
Ah.
that. And the second
Oh.
fact that it's black, which isn't great in a household where we have a gray cat that puts her hair everywhere.
Yeah.
Some T-shirts don't really attract hair in the same way. This one definitely does.
It's like a magnet for cat hair.
Yeah, some T-shirts really have that like property. The hair sticks and it doesn't go away even with a wash. It's just there.
Well, how much would you say roughly you spent on that?
Ooh. 15, 20 something.
Right. Well, this person paid a little bit more. So, this news story is more for people who really like sports, specifically the American ones. It doesn't really affect us unless you guys really like American footballs.
I played it once.
Well,
I don't watch it exactly, so.
well, there's a person called Tom Brady. No clue who he is. Seems pretty famous.
He's very very famous.
Fan buys Tom Brady's last touchdown football for $518,628 US, and then literally 24 hours after this auction had finished, he says, "You know what? I'm unretiring," making that ball drop in price.
Wow.
Considerably.
Wait,
I mean, maybe
was the touchdown not like a like a Super Bowl final or something? When would that have been?
it would have been his last. It was literally the last one he'd done. So this was the football from his very last game.
No, I know, but like because fair enough, it sucks that he's unretiring, so you don't have that as a marker. But if it was still a impactful like touchdown from a final or something, you're probably still good keeping hold of it.
Like, I mean, there may be like a market for like, oh, it's like this was the ball, like, someone paid for, and then like he unretired. So like maybe there's like this kind of like cult following market for this like unfortunate football. But like, imagine that. Like, I don't know if it was bought by like a person who's just like, oh, I'm rich. I mean, clearly they're rich because they've
I
paid
mean,
that much. But like, you know, like what I mean. Like, it's a rich kid
well, if
who's
somebody's
like,
just like remortgaged their house saying like, I've got to
yes.
have Tom Brady's football.
Like, imagine if it's like an ultimate fan who's saved up for years and was like, you know what, when they retire, I'm gonna buy this. You'd have
I
to
mean,
hope it. You'd have to hope it's not that, and it's just some rich asshole who's blew their money.
I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure.
currently it is also still the last touchdown football, right? He hasn't done one since he came back because he just
Technically,
came
that's
back a
true.
couple of days ago, right? So there is still a chance that it
That's
will
true.
be.
He just never scores again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that would be nice.
This will be the football, the last football that he was actually good. But like, imagine that. You know, you just get this. Like, let's say this is the ball of your dreams. Like,
How
you
old was he?
followed this athlete for God knows how many years he's been on the field. And then you put it away, and you go to sleep, and then the next morning you realize that everything is just the shit has hit the fan.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my god.
so here's the thing.
Yes.
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to see where he started his career, but based on like anyone's knowledge here about the ages of professional athletes and stuff. Because
Mhm.
Tom Brady, the reason why he's famous is because he's pretty much one of the
Oh,
best,
he's a goat, right?
player.
Like he
Yeah,
is. Yeah, yeah.
quite literally
Actual goat.
greatest of all time. Yeah. Um, guess his age.
Uh,
I have already cheated, so I will abstain.
No.
34.
He's 44. He is 44 years old.
I thought he might have taken early retirement. I don't know.
This man should have retired, especially with the achievements he's already had under his belt. This man should have retired years ago. Like, he's honestly just in it for love of the game or just love of even more money.
Which could be both.
It could be it could be both, I suppose.
Love of the
but,
money
like,
that the sport gives.
But this man, like, I'm just gonna try and find out how many seasons he's played.
Probably a lot. Like, if he's been
so
doing it for a hot minute.
So he
Yeah, I
played
mean, like
in.
they
He
will have
played
started
in.
in high school football already, right? So
Well, in college, so he played for Michigan College 95 to 99. Like he was playing high level football when I was 2.
yeah,
It's like,
it's
the hell?
impressive. Like just that is impressive. Being able to have that long a career in a sport that it
And
isn't exactly known to be super friendly towards like joints and bodies, right?
And still
Well,
being competitive. Because isn't
Yeah.
American football like you get a lot of concussions? It's like Jackass.
Yeah. Well, he's not a lineman. Like, he's a quarterback, right?
Yeah, but
So
quarterbacks get fucking tackled though.
they do. They can get wiped. But it's interesting to compare it to other sports, because you compare it to soccer, or what I like to call real football.
Ah, I see.
It's a different sport, right? Because I'll call it soccer just for argument's sake, just to split the difference.
What for the Americans?
Well, yeah, because we're talking about American football, I guess it's easier. It's a very, very cardiovascular game. And not to say that you don't run around, but American football, it stops and it starts a lot. Like, you basically get an explosive 10 seconds, and then the whistle blows and you're resetting up, and you're taking the time. That's why you can fit so many freaking adverts in. Like, because every single time there's a pause in the game, the television networks are squeezing in an ad.
Sorry, go.
So I was just gonna say, like, the strain that it puts on the body is kind of different. Like, it's because when you're playing a sport where your job is to sprint across a field for 90 minutes at least once a week, like, that's gonna take and that's not counting your training. Like, that's just the actual sport itself. That's gonna take a different type of strain than, say, having your good arm good all the time, and just not to say that, of course, like, there's definitely strength, there's definitely agility, and there's definitely speed. But it is different, I want to say.
Well,
Okay,
you know the
but
person who bought that.
if you would guess, which players retire earlier, football or soccer?
Are we
well,
American football? You mean?
Yes, American
Well,
football
Oh,
well,
American
or
between
football.
European football.
American football, definitely.
I mean,
Who retires earlier?
Well, so I'd say,
I,
I guess, but then football, like actual soccer, sorry, or
just
football,
say
Yeah,
soccer.
or
It's
football.
easier.
It's been going on for a while, and more people like it. So
That
it's more
has
about a law of averages.
Eh? No,
Well,
Fair.
I mean,
Soccer,
in terms of
like soccer is played in more countries than American football.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
that's very true. Yeah,
No,
So
no,
that's
but
very true.
statistically, which should have more is dependent on, numerical or one that is known for having vast concussions.
but that's not the question.
That wasn't the
though.
question. The question is which players retire at a younger age.
Yeah, like a retirement average. Like, I presume the reason you're raising the question is because it's American footballers, right?
Yes, yes, it is.
Because I want to try and guess like the soccer retirement age is probably averaging around about 34.
Ooh, 35.
Ooh, okay,
Good
right.
get, Lon. You know your spurts.
27.6 for American football.
Jesus. But then again, cycling back to me paying attention to Tom Brady's position, I presume that your retirement age is going to depend quite heavily on where you play.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Because there's a lot. Because like if you're a lineman, like you're constantly just smashing against other large blokes.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
or just
burly
humans in
boys.
general. Like, of course, like in fact, actually, when I played American football, it was technically mixed. It was just very rare to see a female player.
Yeah,
but
but
it was mixed.
yeah, but would you consider yourself having retired from American footballs?
Lon, Lon's official.
I
Yeah,
am
just in the context of this conversation, I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah, so I guess I retired at 20. Yeah.
Lon, you've really brought the average down. But
Not
yes,
much,
let's
honestly,
go
though.
from football to crime, because obviously that guy got a bit ripped off. So there are two crime stories this week. The first one is about Texas. So, and I think the next one is also in America. Why do they keep doing crime? So, don't you just what do you think of pranks, by the way? Both of you, what do you think of pranks? So, Hannes, what do you think of pranks?
Oh, as a sweeping statement.
Indeed. So, like, let's start off with, someone giving you a sour, like a really horrible sweet that tastes dreadful. And it's like, haha, it could have been chocolate,
like
but
a
it's
bean,
poo.
like a bean, perchance.
Imagine a bean.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, I don't know. If somebody gave me a jelly bean and say, like, here, you want to taste the candy, and I get that, I would probably be like fine with getting pranked like that. I wouldn't be super appreciative of it. That like I feel like the best kind of pranks are the ones that doesn't really come at the cost of somebody else.
Yeah.
Now,
To
sorry, continue, Lon.
just gonna say for the other side of it, like I kind of agree in that it's to be the killjoy. It's that the whole point of pranks is that somebody's gonna hate it just for the sake of everyone else to laugh.
Yes, I agree.
And it's just it's a bit. I mean, if you know the person being pranked so well that you know that they're likely to laugh it off, then that's fine.
Yes.
I mean, I guess that's fine. But you've got to have that kind of relationship already. Like if I'm just going up to somebody in the street and like it's just a prank, bro. It's like no,
Ugh.
I'm a grade A arsehole.
The worst
like
kinds of ones are the ones that do some sort of physical harm. And the reason I mentioned pranks, like sometimes if you're really good friends, sometimes you have a prank relationship.
Mm-hmm.
However, this person said it was a prank, and I don't think this is what defines as a prank. Former Texas elections administrator accused of spiking energy drink with colon cleanse and has been sentenced to 18 months.
Oh dear, this is a little bit too close to. I take it colon cleanse is like a laxative, right?
Yes, it's a laxative.
This is a little bit too close to.
We had this happen
Uh,
in my elementary school, like in the later years, of course. Yeah, but I mean, like elementary school for me is year 1 to 9.
Oh, I see.
okay,
I see.
so
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah,
so what? So that would make you oldest 13.
No, more like 14, 15, I think.
Oh right, okay.
I would have to agree
Yeah.
with Saul though. This is technically just poisoning. You're
Yeah.
poisoning an individual, or many
Yes.
individuals specifically. But like,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
one of those things. Like, do you remember those like on YouTube? There's those people who are just like, it's just a prank, and then they slap people in the face, and it's just like, that's not. That's just you're assaulting someone.
Yeah, that's not on. That's not on. I will admit though, just because like I'm sure anyone who heard my comment before is probably curious. So we did have a. I mean, we were kids. We're basically teenagers, right? It's like as teenagers do, you have a few adult beverages when you're not quite an adult yet. You usually take yourself to secluded locations to to have a good day of it. One poor chap, he got he got he got a he got a bit of the laxatives.
Poor boy.
It is true.
Yeah,
God,
it's a weird thing.
uh,
That it's essentially
it's-
just like, I mean, so like the idea of like booby trapped food. I think it's fine if the person is aware. So like Hannes, obviously on your Elden Ring stream, you did, every time you die, you eat a bean, and obviously it could be cheese or it could be,
Oh no, it was way
lemon.
worse than that. But yeah,
Yeah,
no.
okay,
It's birthday.
it could be
it's
crap.
birthday cake. Yeah, it's birthday cake or dirty dishwasher, more like that.
Yummy.
Yeah.
But like obviously as an individual, you're fully aware that there is a possibility of you reaching that. It's like with wings roulette where, there's multiple different wings on the
Yeah.
like chicken wings. Then I think that is fine because the person is fully acknowledged. But when you're doing it, without their knowledge, that's bad. That's no.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. For the record, I have not we've not done
Lorne is not
anything
condoling this, by the way.
since. We've not
Since.
done anything
I haven't
since we
killed
were
anyone since.
that
No, I
sweet
mean, like-
age of 16.
Yeah.
But when you're 16, everything's just you do
but I thi-
horrible things to each other.
Oh yeah. I mean, as I said, like it happened in my school as well. I can't remember by whom to whom, but I know that it did happen. But this is like adult people, right?
Yeah.
This
This
is,
person.
there's no
this was-
excuse for this.
Yeah, these people were all adults, by the way.
I think I mentioned it before, maybe on Weird News or just in general to you two, but there was a crime story in Stockholm a couple of years back where somebody laced like a mud cake brownie mixture with weed and served it
Yes.
to his colleagues. And the same thing there, like that's also like considered not poisoning, but it's counted
It's-
as like
yeah, it's
bodily
tampering. You're
abuse or
tampering
something like
with
that. Yeah, food tampering. But no, I actually like he got like same as if you would assault somebody. That's what he got charged with.
Well, Hannes,
Yeah.
speaking of sweet treats, this is the second crime story. Now, obviously, it's not really an enjoyable experience going to the dentist. But then
I
again,
don't mind it. I don't mind
someone
it.
may really like the dentist, and that
I
person
have
may
a
be
great
a
time at my
complete
dentist.
crazy person.
They have a
But-
good magazine rack.
Well, Lorne, there's a dentist who has been found guilty of purposefully damaging teeth to boost profits.
Oh, dang.
So,
Yeah, that's
this
a big
person who is 61 has raked in millions, like actual millions, of this scheme where he's specifically drilled or broken his client's teeth so that he could get money, so that they would have to come back in to see him.
That is
And that's-
absolutely fucking horrible.
It's
And
bad.
that's why-
There are bad stories as well as good stories on Weird News.
And that's why privatized healthcare sucks. But then again, I suppose our dental care is still privatized.
Yeah,
It's
some of
like
it is.
doesn't. It doesn't. Like, there are some things that come under our National Health Service, but for the most part, like just head checkups and stuff, you're paying for your own.
Also, like in like American movies, like old school movies from the 90s, if there was ever a dentist, they would normally get a lollipop at the end. Isn't that a bit stupid? Isn't that just like a minor version
we
of
got
this?
that. We used to get that in Sweden as well.
Just like, I've just cleaned your teeth. Now be careful of sugar. Here's a lollipop.
and that was from
What?
like general. That was from the general dentist as well, general healthcare.
It's
No,
just
but
so
they-
bizarre.
But
It
they would
is.
have like sugar-free ones. Like,
In the 90s?
yeah,
Mm,
it's sugar-free stuff. I mean, like, and also as well, it's just like it keeps the kid on side, right? It's like you don't want to be too much of a narc.
Hey,
I
kid.
think it's more about forming a positive connection between the like going to the dentist. Like at least I get a lollipop afterwards.
Yeah.
You know.
Just
Exactly.
the way Lone made it sound is just like, hey kid, I'll not break your teeth, but here, have a lollipop and come back. It's like some weird sort of racket
No,
that is
it's,
going
no,
on.
it's more just like it's just a positive interaction, right? It's like you don't want to be there just nagging the kid saying like no, don't eat sugar, always brush your teeth. You just say, look, it's nice to have a bit of sugar. We all like it. Here's a lollipop, but
Well-
just make sure you clean your teeth.
Well, I mean, gum is probably a better idea actually for a dentist. You don't think? Like you can get like gum that is specifically fluoride based gum, and doesn't have like a terrible taste.
I mean, that's fine. That's
I
fine
think
as
gum is
well.
probably a
I
better
don't, I
idea.
don't see the issue either, to be honest. It's,
Well, That's all the crimes. There's no more crimes, Lone. No more crimes, Hannes. But
Thank fuck. We've
Hannes, do you drive?
successfully defeated crime.
Yes,
Did it.
here, by our powers combined, we're like a really crappy Captain Planet. Hannes, do you drive?
I know how to, but I don't have to living where I live, so I don't.
Well, I know Lone doesn't. I know I can, but do not have Brum Brum car. But for those that do, potholes are certainly an issue for those on the roads. And there's a famous person. Well, I guess he's famous. I'm trying to think how relevant he is now. But someone wasn't fixing a pothole near his house, and he's just like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. And that person is Rod Stewart.
what the hell?
Oh yeah,
Rod Stewart fills potholes near his home since no one can be bothered. He's just like, I'm sick of these potholes. I'm gonna fill them in myself.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. I imagine he's not doing it with his own two hands. He's probably hired his own.
No,
His
Lon,
own manual
if I
labourers.
scroll down a bit, I can show you. It is his
Well,
own
he's
two
act-
hands.
He's actually done it himself.
Yep. He's filling in potholes himself.
Fair enough. He must be very bored.
I mean, so you know the show Would I Lie to You?
Ah,
yeah.
So it recently got an Australian adaptation. And I thought, you know what, screw it, I'll give it a try. And they had one of the a British comedian on. I can't remember his name now for the life of me. But his lie was, I was once on a beach, and I yelled to Rod Stewart on his yacht, and he came over and built a sandcastle with me. And it was true. He got off his very expensive yacht and built a sandcastle.
Fantastic.
fantastic.
She's like, yeah, fuck it, why not? Sandcastle. Oh, God. But,
I gotta say,
next-
this makes me like Rod Stewart a whole lot more. I was kind of neutral in my opinion about Rod Stewart before this, but he's definitely gone up a peg or two
yeah,
after this.
I mean, he seems
No,
canny.
no,
I have no
yeah.
qualms with him. He doesn't seem like a wrong'un yet. You have to
I mean,
you have to
yeah.
preface yet because you don't know.
Yeah,
seems
I'm
like
pretty
canny
sure.
dude.
I'm pretty sure Rod Stewart's always been like a canny dude in my book. Like
Yeah.
he's never done anything to piss me off yet. So
Well, Lone, do you like chicken?
chicken's great.
Well,
Staple.
Obviously, do you know what Popeyes is?
I've heard of it. Don't they do like these big bursting chicken sandwiches or something?
I believe so. I don't think they're in the UK. I don't know. Popeyes,
No.
are they in Sweden? Hannes, Popeyes?
No, no.
Well, they're definitely in America. And a wandering chicken has found a new home at Popeyes. So a chicken wandered up to the chicken restaurant, the chicken sandwich west restaurant in Louisiana, and instead of I guess sending it away, they built it a hutch.
Is
Like
it?
they
You
they
see,
built it a coop,
you
like
see,
alongside the
that's
drive-through.
that sounds wholesome, but can you imagine
It's very
just like
macabre.
can you imagine just like being like just to put it into human terms, like you're lost, you're alone, and you're just like you're looking around, and you suddenly wander upon this like murderer's home. He's been killing people for years, and he's just like, actually, I'll take you in. It's like it's a little bit of a bizarre
Yeah,
circumstance, is
yeah.
it not?
It's really
I mean, to be
macabre.
fair, Lorne, in today's economy, if a murderer's building me a house,
I mean, no, but it's their house. Like they've put you up in their house with
It's
all
more
of
like
the
they're building a little
murders.
doghouse next to you, right?
Yeah, it's it's like we like to eat chickens here, but not this one. This one's cool.
imagine seeing this though. Like, imagine like you're going through the drive-through and you just see like a chicken coop, and like you're just like, wow, the food really is fresh here.
But Soul's there like commending Popeye's chicken sandwiches. I have heard like there was definitely like a period of time in recent history where everyone, all of freaking Twitter was just like lighting up with Popeye's chicken sandwiches are freaking dope, and I was just like, man, I kind of want one. I want to try it,
Hmm.
but
Fair dues.
I love me
alas,
some fried chicken.
I freaking love fried chicken. Very
Well,
good.
from the low technology of chicken coop to the future of technology, some would say. Some are saying it is a giant leap forward for space engineering. So a bit far from chickens, just a smidge. One giant leap forward for oxygen hunting robots and power stations of the future. So this is a breakthrough of ambitious technology in the UK. So the idea is that there's these robots that latch themselves to the moon and harvest oxygen and water from the moon as resources.
And where is that oxygen and water coming from in the moon?
The
It's
ice,
above
the
my
ice that's in the moon rock.
fair.
Yeah, so it's coming from the ice that is in the moon rock, and the
Hey,
idea
how
is
long?
that you can essentially get the resources and mine them from the moon, because there's no real resources other than water and oxygen on the moon. You're not going to go, I found gold. It's like, no, but like, I mean, water and oxygen probably pretty important in the future.
Yeah, no, I would say so. It's probably like a good preparation for any kind of colony attempts.
Yeah.
So if you can already have the stockpile there, or
Well,
like use it as a stopgap between here and Mars. Which
yes,
of
I was going to
course, like,
say the another idea was that they were going to use this as like a kind of more of a storage kind of thing, kind of almost going along with Bezos's idea of putting factories on the moon, uh, which was bizarre.
it seems wild because, like you say, there's no resources there to begin with, so it's like you're still spending like an absolute frick ton getting the factory everything it needs to function.
Like, I mean, water is probably going to be one of one of the biggest resources in the future, which is very dystopian.
Mm.
Unfortunately.
I mean, yeah. I mean, unless we're colonizing places that have their own supply, then yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be like a Mad Max kind of experience.
Well, Hannes, do you think you'd ever want to go to Mars? Like, I don't mean once it's terraformed. I mean as a first pioneer. Like,
Legitimately, I think yes. I think yes.
really?
Yes, if I would get the opportunity, if they come to me and say that you can be one of the first humans to try to terraform a planet, I would probably jump on that possibility, yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Because I would be the exact opposite. I'm just
Same.
like, hell no.
Like, so what's weird is I'm almost going to be playing devil's advocate. So initially, my response would be I would jump at the opportunity entirely just so I could be like, this is my name in the history books. You know, it'd just be etched there somewhere. I'd be like, okay. However, thinking about it logically, it would be fucking dreadful.
Oh yeah, it
Like,
would be
it would be
probably
horrendous.
absolutely awful.
Where would I get my anime?
Bearing in mind, Hannes, part of the deal is that you don't come back because that's what like
Yeah.
Mars.
You're not
1
allowed to come
is.
back, Hannes. This is exile. This is us telling you we've just, unfortunately, Hannes, we have booked you a ticket on the next Mars flight. This is our intervention on Weird News to tell you that we're shipping you off to Mars.
Man, can you imagine if?
Oh God, imagine just like that'd be so harsh. Just like, well, you're off to Mars now.
No, but I get that no coming back is part of the deal. Absolutely. Still probably, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely on the other side of that. I'm just like, hell no. That sounds like it sounds like great. It's like it's a good way to put your name in the history books. But then once I'm there, I'd be like, oh God, it's like my life, dude.
Well, I think this is
It would
one
make
of
it harder to stream, that's for sure.
yes. Well, I mean,
Yes.
depending on imagine the latency. 17 years latency.
That's why you've got that's why you've got 5G, mate.
Oh yes, 5G breaks
5G.
through that 17-year difference. Oh,
It'll
God.
be fine.
But this sounds like a very good debate. One of the greatest debates, however, was the console wars. Do you remember the traditional console war, specifically the console war from Xbox to PlayStation?
Yeah.
So the next story is a doctor apologizes for ranting about the console wars from the operating room.
What the hell?
So he's an anesthesiologist who recorded himself live in front of the unconscious patient just on a complete rant about the console wars. Apparently this is this dude's like passion, by the way. The console wars are this dude's passion.
That's like specifically just discussing the conflict between fans. Does he have a position himself, or does he just think that the actual conflict in itself is interesting?
He says his passion is the console wars. Console wars is the shorthand, blah, 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 blah. Let's see if he actually has a position.
I mean,
Because, well, he's definitely, yeah, he's definitely PlayStation.
Okay.
Since he just
He's
calls
just- he's
Xbox
just
people
so-
Xbots.
I mean, he's just salty because the Xbox 360 kicked the PS3's ass.
Yes, in regards to sales numbers, yes. However, like, although I had an Xbox 360, I do believe that sometimes PlayStation had a better modicum of games, but Xbox 360 did multiplayer far better.
Xbox 360 pioneers like modern online gaming.
Oh no, don't. You'll get the
Oh.
anesthesiologist to come and attack us, Lord.
I'm just saying, he may not like it, but that is the truth. It was
This
the
is,
only
like, he says he
generation
has a
I
YouTube
actually had an
channel.
Xbox. Like, it's like legitimately though on that topic. Like, just as a side tangent, like I have never been an Xbox gamer, but I did do it for that generation because it was just the superior choice.
Yes, I have to agree. It
So-
was not only was it cheaper, but it was one of those systems where many within our vicinity had acquired it, so it made logical sense.
Well, I still had my Nintendo consoles. Like, but
Yes, I mean Nintendo
like-
has always been good at staying away from most of the console wars, apart from when they had a feud with Sega.
yeah, in which
Oh,
case Sega.
well, the Elden Ring news is in 2 stories time, and the Batman news is the story straight after. Oh, is 2 stories after that. So we will get there. I swear. I promise.
Just call the episodes by number.
1.
Keep
Weird
keep the
news
rowdy
1.
crowd down. Yeah.
But like there has been another debate. So obviously many debates have happened before. Like, is a hot dog a sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Now, I believe Chatox brought this to our Discord. So I don't know what people will think about in chat, but the very stupid question was: are there on the planet more doors or more
Oh no, I've seen
wheels?
this.
So I would just say that like me and Cupcake Frog discussed this just very briefly, but it of course depends on how you define
Exactly.
both of those.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like doors could be, you could extend doors to be like, what about the ones on my cupboard? What about the ones on my drawers?
I'd say that
Like this.
anything that is defined as a door.
I know, but what's defined as a door? Like, is a
Like
drawer a
so,
door?
like a microwave door, a cupboard door. It is defined as a door. I wouldn't say a drawer is a door.
What about
But
the
the thing is,
dishwasher?
yeah, like for the cabinets in Swedish, they're not called doors; they're called
Ah, I
lucka.
see. So it would depend on It's sometimes also a language thing.
Yeah, because like in Swedish, if you're opening a cupboard where you keep your plates or something, like you wouldn't say open that door.
Hmm.
Like
Interesting.
like it's weird. Like, because do you define a door by hinges? Is that what we're coming to?
That's a very good
Because
question.
if it's hinges, most four-door cars, when you include the hood and the trunk, the thing that you would define the would think would be wheels, it actually has more doors.
But the thing is also like, I was on Team Doors, and then Team Wheels kind of won me over because I came up with the idea of toys. So any kind of like, how much recreational content is made in vast surplus that uses wheels more than doors?
Are we counting cogwheels?
That's a very good question. Well, you know what? Before we go too far down this rabbit hole, because we'll never get to the end of the news story, Hannes, I showed you a news story about a game
Yeah.
called Tarkov.
Yes.
Escape from Tarkov.
Yes. Would you like
Yeah.
to talk about it now? You can introduce it.
No. You take it away because I remember it, but I don't think I remember it well enough to give a full fledged intro to it. So
Right.
you go.
So, Lone. Mechanics in game normally have, let's say, an in-world economy. So, Fallout, for example. Fallout has bottle caps, and that doesn't change depending on real-world situations. Okay?
Uh-huh.
So, with the economy being strained as it is around the world, the game Escape from Tarkov uses a very interesting system. It's tied to the real world economy.
This is the first time hearing from it, and I've actually kept up with a couple of content creators in the past where Tarkov was part of their regular rotation. So how long has this been a thing?
A
For a bit,
while.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, a while. So, because of the ruble not doing so hot, okay,
Oh.
their main currency within the game is the ruble. And because of that, there are certain equipments which, require you to only use dollars or euros, which now makes the game harder because it is now more expensive to acquire those in-game items due to real-world causality. It's very bizarre. I think, like, there's been, like, some strange... there's been, like, some very strange, like, mechanics in games. I was talking to Hannes about, like, sanity mechanics. Like, there's a game from, like, the PlayStation 1 era which uses sanity mechanics by like turning off your TV. Or Lorne, you may have played Metal Gear, where Psycho Mantis comes in, and the only way to beat the boss is by switching the player 1
Controller
slot
input.
to the player 2 slot.
Yeah.
So you physically can't control it. It's just so wild, like how some in-game mechanics work. Like it's very bizarre. Like even in Elden Ring, so we will be going on to Elden Ring now. So in Elden Ring, there's so many strange mechanics, like hidden walls, like invisible bridges, various things like that. But just like Elden Ring, with many games, there are still hackers. And
Mm.
there is one specific hacker who. Do you remember when we were talking about Scalper's Loan? And
Uh-huh.
that person stated that it was their civil duty to scalp.
What? I can't remember this exactly, but
So
somebody claimed it was their duty to scalp people.
yes, because getting a PlayStation 5 was an indulgence, and he was training people how to scalp.
Oh yeah, I remember this dude. I remember
Yes,
this dude.
out of like as long as one of you do. Well, this hacker believes that he is a necessary evil. So there is a hacker who is getting other players banned in Dark Souls in Elden Ring. He essentially drops an item that physically can't be got, and upon a player picking it up, they get banned.
Oh, but he's just like planting like he's planting this item and somebody's blissfully unaware of what it is.
Yes, he was also killing players with overpowered weapons, and they're just it's like a ban hammer. It's so bizarre. The idea is that because he's like using these items and giving them to players, it's obviously an illegal item. So the game's just like cheater, and he is banning so many people. He says that he's doing it so that he can bring awareness to the issue.
I mean, there is something called, like white hat hacking and stuff like that. This doesn't sound like that. This sounds like just a dude being an asshole.
Yeah, this sounds like he's getting his jollies off by getting others banned and then claiming some self-righteous ideology.
Yeah, no, it's like, because fair enough, he makes a point that, like, the awareness just to get the problem fixed. But yeah, do you know what also helps with awareness? Just filming the thing happening once and then forwarding it and tagging FromSoft on Twitter.
I mean, there's a few bugs, but that don't get you banned. There's a bug with a fire spell that if you have a weapon like buff on your thing, that if you set yourself on fire, it procs whatever damage the weapon's buff does. So for PvP, for example, if you have the buff of death, which only works on seemingly players, you can just sprint around like a giant ball of death and run into people.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very evil because it's the item and the spell itself isn't meant to work like that. It's an issue with how things are procking more than this guy who is just banning people because it's an illegal item which shouldn't exist in the game.
But no, yeah, this guy in particular is just a plain arsehole.
Yeah.
Like, to be quite honest, I think he's got more of a point than the other guy, though. So talking about
Scalping Man.
Yeah, Scalping Man, it's just like, no, you're being just a genuine, like, grade A arsehole. Like, like you have no moral high ground to claim. It's like, what's your claim? It's like, I'm bringing awareness to scalping by making more scalpers, and just like, no, that's just dumb. This guy at least has an end goal. Like, the end goal is apparently FromSoft see all the complaints because of what I'm doing and then fix it.
Yes.
But he's also creating a huge fucking mess while doing it, because then they would have to try to find and unban all these people that he's done it to.
Oh
which
yeah,
is just
no.
Gonna be, yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's it's still entirely shitty, but at least there's that end goal. Like, the end goal is still there. Like, the scalper has no end goal. It's basically, I just want to make scalpers richer and make you desperate people poorer.
Well, just so you know, the auto mod with Elden Ring and Dark Souls is very, very, very anal. It does it automatically, and they kind of have no way to do anything. So I was recently punished in Elden Ring.
Oh,
so because my computer is so bad and can't properly run Elden Ring, and I mean the PC version of Elden Ring is having a modicum of issues, to say the least. My game has
I don't
crashed
know.
a lot.
I've only lost my pants, and it's only for one armor set as well. So if I equip a specific armor set, I lose my legs. That's the only issue I've had.
Well, I've had many bugs with bosses. I've had enemies falling through the world. I've had an invisible horse, and now the most recent one, because the game crashes a lot. And I play co-op with Ethan. Because I've been playing co-op and crashed a set number of times, I was hit with a multiplayer ban.
Oh wow! For how long?
12 hours.
Okay, well.
No. No, when I say 12 hours, you think, oh, I can go to bed, and then 12 hours later, it'll be fine. No.
It's 12-hour live.
12
like,
hours
in the
in
game.
game actively playing.
That's worse. That's worse. That's a whole
It's
lot.
horrendous.
Can you idle less? Like,
Yes, you can. I held the W key down and ran into a wall for 12 hours.
Yeah, that is definitely worse. Because that's like if you would actively play that, that is a little bit over half of all the time I currently have played.
Yeah, it's horrendous. Like, I've had frame rate drops, I've had, crashes, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I love the game. I'm aware that my computer can't handle it, but it has crashed a lot, even for Ethan's computer. And Ethan's computer is very good. It's crashed a considerable amount of times. But to punish players for their game crashing is a bit... Nah, not a fan.
I legitimately wonder how my rig's gonna do with Elden Ring. Like, my rig should be fine.
But you're not going to be playing co-op a lot, are you? Unless you summon in us.
No. I think I don't think I would ever want to touch co-op until I've at least played one full playthrough of one Souls game.
That's fair. I mean, I personally like co-op. I mean, I played all the Souls games single player. I'll quite happily play Elden Ring again on my own.
You say that now, but I summoned in like Golden Souls for helping with some of the bosses in my first Dark Souls 3 playthrough.
Well,
like I mean, in terms of the summons is
No. When I say Golden Summon is a player character.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They can also be NPCs, to be fair.
Yeah. They can be, and yeah. That's
but
it's my
Hannes,
fault. I use confusing terminology, but yes, I brought in people for help with some of the bosses after I had a lot of issues with them, and then I was like, yeah, no.
Well, Hannes, should you stream more Elden Ring? Send me a
will,
message on
tomorrow.
Discord, and I shall place my sign down, and you shall summon Shinzo Barry, the greatest adventurer.
I typically only do it if I've had like real issues with a boss. Like
Just
I
how
think I
many
mentioned it
beans?
before. I had like 30+ beatings. I did it with the dragon boss, and it's just like I did. Or we talked about it before. What's the name of it? The dragon god boss.
Oh, did you
The
summon
Nameless
in
King.
Nameless
Oh,
King.
yes.
Yeah. I summoned in a player for that one, but not for the last like actual storyline boss of Dark Souls.
Yeah,
he's meant to be like so
Yeah.
easy compared to Nameless King.
Yeah. So Nameless King I summoned in for, but that was after like 30 deaths, and I just like I did not see it happening without having some kind of help and aggro share and shit.
Well, that's so weird that I mean, like it's just based on the player, right? But I do know that some of the content creators who I enjoy watching, like they're more than willing to put in like never mind like double digits, like triple digit attempts in just are still like quite jovial in just like creating a show, and it's the never say die attitude. But so 30 attempts to me, I'm curious how many attempts.
Yeah, I'm just taking a number from the air here. I didn't actually. count.
I don't
And it
think
was
Hannes
years ago
specifically
now, so.
has like a tally of deaths. That like the second it reaches that, he's just like, you know what, I'm summoning in Big Dave.
You might have been counting, I don't know. But I do. I'm excited to see like how much Elden Ring will fray my patience, because I know what it is. I know what the game is, and I know what it wants to do to me. So I'm curious. It'll be fun.
Indeed. Well, speaking of the Dragon King and things that fly, we'll move on to Batman. So obviously the latest Batman movie has just released, and imagine you sit down after the Great Plague, you're in the cinema, and you're like, oh, I really want to watch Batman. You sit down, and a few minutes into the movie, you have to get called out. You have to get sent out of the movie. What thing has occurred within the theater do you think would warrant the entire theater being sent out?
The Joker's attacked.
Good idea. You are along the Batman lines. What about you, Hannes? What do you think?
Does it have to be Batman related?
It is Batman related. So it's not just like there's a fire in the building.
No. That's like my first thought. I don't know. Cosplayers making a scene somehow?
No. Well, the actual answer is very closely related to Batman. It is a live bat being released during the screening of Batman.
Okay.
So someone went to watch Batman and released a live bat in the audience, and because of that, they were like, "Well, we have to call animal control." So they had to evacuate the cinema, call in animal control. They dealt with the bat, got it out of there, and they were just like, "Okay, you can go watch Batman now."
Why would somebody do this? That sounds like
Because it's the Batman. Bat is the first part of the man.
Yeah, but it's so incredibly cruel as well to a creature like a bat to put it into a theater.
Well, you see,
it's like the sound though. That sounds incredibly cruel.
Yeah, it really does.
Its parents were killed by a projector, and it's now Man-Bat. It hunts cinemas, specifically the Batman cinema.
Ah, dear. But yeah, no, that's like real shitty. Like, I can understand. I can like very very small amount of me understands like ha 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 joke Batman bats. You see, but it's like no, it's like if you stop to think even just a second of what this creature is and how it functions and where you put it.
I don't think really the person who released the bat has any modicum of common sense.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, Lorne. But in movies, obviously swearing happens a lot, and obviously even on our podcast and many of our streams, we have sworn just a smidge. But out of these two actors, who do you think has the most swearing out of all of them? So there's two people. Which do you think has more, Samuel L. Jackson or Jonah Hill?
Honestly, I would say Jonah Hill.
Okay. Yeah, I would say Jonah Hill too, of the fact that Samuel L. Jackson obviously have the motherfucker like thing going.
Yeah.
But that's it, right? More often than not, like the reason why the motherfucker hits so hard is because generally he has a fairly clean language at least.
Yes.
Whereas Jonah Hill drops the constant bombs.
Yes, I agree. Well,
like just the type of roles that they get put into. It's like
yeah.
It's like Samuel L. Jackson is put into a lot of roles where that's not part of the character.
Well, Samuel L. Jackson was recently just informed about this fact, and he's very surprised. So Samuel L. Jackson is stunned that Jonah Hill holds the record. The record, by the way, not just out of those two, like the record on screen for most profanities.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Now that's some bullshit.
I mean, I feel like he's just playing into it a bit, because I honestly am not surprised at all. Like, Jonah Hill's characters, they all seem to be like
weed or asshole kind of characters, yeah.
Yeah, it's a kind of like I don't know, I can't think of a right words to kind of umbrella term all of his roles, but yeah, he's that kind of typecast.
Jerk.
Like, doesn't even have to be jerk, but basically, anyway, it just fits.
Mouthed.
But when you think about Samuel L. Jackson, fair enough, you have a lot of these iconic scenes where he is effing and bliming, but you've also got to remember that a lot of his movies, he is Nick Fury.
That's true, and it's in Disney, since they own Marvel, he's not going to go, I'm sick, of these motherfucking Iron Men on this motherfucking blimp or whatever they fly. I don't know. You can tell I'm not super. I like Marvel, but I there's too much Marvel.
No, for that age rating, I think they only get one fuck per movie.
Oh yeah, that is the thing. Like, I remember like when they were like, "Oh, this is the movie where Batman says fuck." I can't remember which Batman movie it was, but they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he said it." It's like, Jesus. But there's 2 more stories this week, and then we'll be heading over to Hannes's stream. And I'll be there. Lorne, will you be there?
Yeah, PG-13 can only have like a limited amount of fucks.
I think it's a bit different here. I think in 12s you can swear, like there's a set number of words you can use. Like shit is fine. 15s you can say fuck. 18s you can get away with murder.
Yeah.
But speaking of poopy head, I think you said earlier, Hannes, or doo-doo head.
Potty mouth.
Potty mouth, that was it. Well, it's because I'm thinking of this, and I don't think he deserved to be fired, personally. A Mississippi educator has been fired for reading kids a silly book. So, just so you know, this book is directed at children.
Uh-huh.
So, this is the book, I Need a New Butt.
Yeah.
So, the idea of the story is this kid sees his ass, and it's just like, I need a new butt. Mine has a crack in it. And I thought that was very funny.
That sounds pretty cute, yeah.
I thought that was quite good. I mean, it's clearly written for kids. It's meant to be silly. And they were like, oh, how dare you. That's crass. You need to be fired. And they fired this individual because he read out this book.
That's insanity, that's just
really is
stupid.
Really.
Oh, but look, Automod hates butt as well.
Not only does the Automod hate butt, they hate rump. Apparently, rump is too raunchy.
I could have been talking about a good old rump steak.
A bit of that rumpy pumpy loan.
Jeez, man.
But
no, that's insanity. I would like to think that there's a follow up to this story later on, that like some school just hires him just out of like
I hope he gets hired. I really don't think he should have been fired. Like 2 days later, he was fired. Like I don't think it's fair, personally. It's not like he's reading, fucking Hannibal Lecter or something like that. He's not reading something so dark that is not for the audience. He's not reading 50 Shades of Grey, is he?
Is this like meant to be some sort of private school or whatever? Like meant to be like a well-to-do type
assistant principal, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't seem to be. The high school kind of disagreed with officials.
Like, because the teacher's right, though. Like, this is how you get kids interested in books, is that you try to show them that they're not just, like...
Boring as shit.
Boring, yeah. Exactly. It's like, books can be fun. You can basically do a story about whatever. And kids will lap that stuff up. Like, I'm definitely picking up this book rather than, like, freaking Wuthering Heights.
Like,
it's
isn't like
I definitely think kids that read I Need a New Butt would do this one over Wuthering Heights.
Just as an example. But...
If I okay, so this I told you the idea of I need a new butt. So this kid sees his butt, it's got a crack in, so he wants a new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, a group of bunnies go looking for a new home. Sounds normal until I tell you that story is Watership Down. And obviously I don't think, like, they're both relatively, they're both written with some childish silly themes, but there's also some quite dark stuff in Watership Down. But honestly, at this rate, I feel like Watership Down may have been better for the school board. Do you know what I mean? And they're just like, oh, it's
Yeah.
only about rabbits. It's not about big bum bums.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like that's an ongoing controversy in the US, though, right? How books and a lot of media like aim towards kids being handled at all. We had a whole controversy with oh shit, what's it called? The new movie that came out just this week.
Oh,
Talking Red, Turning Red,
turning red. Oh,
yeah, Turning
Oh,
Red.
that seemed
There's a
quite good
huge
from the
controversy
trailer.
about
yeah.
yeah, there's a whole controversy about Turning Red just because it deals with periods and it's aimed towards children. It's like, oh
Is
no,
it?
how can kids learn about periods?
Like,
It's
I'm
like,
pretty sure there's
it
like
is
cartoons
ridiculous.
from when we were growing up, Lorne. Like, Watership Down was a cartoon from when we were growing up. They were just like,
No, but
in the
yeah,
90s, cartoons were just like, kids, this is life, this is death, suck it up.
no, kids in the cartoons in the 90s were like trippy as balls. Like,
Yeah, they
anyone
were.
watched
They were.
Ren and Stimpy? Can you
Oh
believe
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit existed?
Yeah, Courage the Cowardly Dog. I hated
Cat
it.
Dog?
It was nightmare
Cat
fuel.
dog, yeah.
Cow and Chicken.
Oh,
Cow and
God.
chicken. Oh, I love
Like
cow and chicken.
like
though.
Cat
That
Dog.
was one of
If you
the
think
better
about
ones.
the internals of Cat Dog, Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor cat
Yeah.
or dog.
I mean, poor both
But-
of them because both of them are exits and entries, right?
That's true.
Ugh.
Welcome for
But,
that image. You're welcome.
But no, it's like that. The controversy over Turning Red is like it's the new like look how stupid humans are. Because it's just there's nothing to be offended about. Like I saw one today, which is like, because obviously I have no idea. I didn't have to experience this, but it's basically asking the question like how old were you when you had your first period or started to learn about them
But obviously,
from
that's
other
not
people.
something. Since
It's like-
we're all dudes, there's not
No,
something that
no,
we
I
can
know,
really.
but you can even say like when was the first time you learnt about it?
Yes.
Like it's like, and chances are you
right.
would have been a kid.
Catch you
You
later,
wouldn't
Sol.
be. Yo, cheers for hagging, Sol. But it's like you would have been a kid, like especially if you are like a lass and you're super duper confused in a school bathroom because your body's doing strange fucking things. It's like the reason why you're in such a panic is because nobody, not even your media, wanted to teach you about this thing.
It's
not
a very-
sex
it's a
ed
very
is something
strange
that's like going on in a lot of these schools either.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
It's
It's very strange things, but as is now becoming a tradition, the last story of Weird News. Last story of Weird News is going to be a story from the distant past. So obviously, last week we covered the Tower Bridge's original designs, which were fucking bizarre and weird.
Yeah.
Now, when you think of a flood or a tsunami, you normally think, there's something to do with the sea or the river. But in 1919, in, I believe, Boston, do you know what molasses is?
I do you know what, this is a strange thing is that I keep like making references to molasses because I know it's like it's used to call something slow, but honestly
Yes.
I don't know what actual molasses is.
So
I'll
molasses.
hold my hands up.
So molasses is a sticky substance. Specifically, the one here it was used for rum. But it's like a sticky, sweet substance. So in 1919, there was the Great Molasses Flood.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
Exactly.
Yes.
The Great
and
Molasses
this is
Flood.
also what in Parks and Recreation they actually mentioned something that's a reference to this. But that's abided by.
Like, as you can see, so the idea was like this distillery company was holding a commercial water tower filled with molasses, and there were gallons upon gallons of this sticky sweet substance. And what happened is the tower collapsed and molasses flooded everywhere. Like, it took 2 weeks to clean up the molasses, and decades after, when it was hot, the sweet smell of molasses would linger in the air. Like, it was still a disaster. People died.
Yeah.
It was still a disaster, but like,
I mean, it was a long time ago, man.
I
It's
know,
like, how
I don't
dare
think many
you?
people
You're
from
so
1919 are rocking
insensitive,
around.
Soul Cannon. Could you not think about the poor
They're
people?
slowly and stickily rolling in their graves.
Just wait till they get to you, Lorne. Oh boy,
Mm.
when their wellies come out of this sludge. Yeah, as you can see, like look at the cars and the stuff they had to deal with. Like this was like a gallon of gallons and gallons of molasses. I think it was 500 gallons of molasses in a 19 cubic wide like thing. It was massive. Either way, it was massive. You can see it's caused a flood.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a nightmare to clean up. And when you think of a flood, you don't think about something like this. It's extremely bizarre.
I mean, yeah, because not many people are hoarding gallons upon gallons upon gallons of molasses in a water tower.
So there are some great molasses flood facts, by the way.
All right, okay.
Gallons of molasses that flooded the northeast on January 15th, 2.3 million gallons.
Jesus.
Just a bit more than I remember. The estimated height of the wave of molasses, 30 feet high. The speed of molasses, 25 miles an hour.
I don't know what that is in...
Lorne, is this going to be your Googling evening?
What's that, sorry?
What is 25 miles an hour in Hannes?
40 kilometers per hour.
That's
That's faster than I think.
Well, I
Much
mean, you have to
faster
think
than I
about it's moving fast under the gravitational weight of it. It's
I was gonna say,
2.5 million gallons.
That's
Like
true.
the
That's
idea
true,
of
that's
molasses being slow doesn't matter when there's gravity pushing against it.
I when there's 30 feet of it that's being
Yeah.
gravity
Wow, there's
down.
30 feet of
It's
that
like, oh.
precious, that sweet molasses.
So hang on a minute. I don't know if I missed this, but just to kind of fill me in with it, is that molasses, is it actually used as like kind of this caramel type thing?
Yes,
What
yeah,
is it used?
Yeah, it's used as a sweetening thing. You can get it in candies as well.
Okay.
It's used as rum, but it's also used industrially as well. It's a strange product. It is a sweet treat, yet also used in industry.
Is it like would it be like a kind of molasses filling, or would it be more of an agent to like make something else?
Normally like an agent to make something else.
Okay. Right.
I don't think you're just like you don't really have like straight molasses on your pancakes. Pancakes and molasses.
I don't know. I think somebody's tried that.
Most likely. But yes, that is the end of weird news this week. I know. So
Well.
have you? I hope everyone has enjoyed it. Of course.
Yeah, it's been good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So yes, Hannes, will you be going live?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be trying out Prop and Seek. So
Yes.
if anybody wants to join, it's free to. It's not free to play, but you're more than welcome to join.
Yes.
But yeah, so Prop and Seek, you can find it on Steam. And it's going to be the first time trying it out, but I've always loved prop hunting games.
Same. They're always a good fun. Who will join? Do you think Callum will join us?
Maybe.
We shall see. But yes, I will start the raid now if you're on.
Yeah, give me 1 second. 1 second.
Bed of girls. But
You might be best doing the chat command for the raid.
I always
Don't
do the chat
what
command?
I did. Oh, because I usually do the button from the creator dashboard.
Oh really? I don't think I've ever used it. I've only used the chat command.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that when I was trying to raid through to here, I think I was late in doing so because I was waiting for your channel to populate through the button.
Yes,
But I think
see.
it's a little bit delayed. But
It
of
was
course,
having
if
a
you
few
just
issues.
chat commands, because if you chat commands, you can raid even people who are offline. You just send them straight on over.
Just
Does
on
that
your own.
automatically create a host?
That is a very good question. I don't
Yes,
think it
yes,
would.
it does.
Does
Yes,
it? Really?
whoever you raid, you are then hosting from that point onwards.
Yeah, yeah.
As you can see, you and Lorne, have all the Streamlabs stuff set up. I need to talk to you both about how to get my stuff properly set up. I'm
Absolutely. We're
just
here.
having fun with it. Are you live,
Yep,
Anastasia?
Yeah, it should be live and visible.
Brilliant. Well, we shall send you over there and I will be joining. We'll be playing Prop and Seek, a prop hunt game, and of course, thank you everyone for watching, and
Yep,
thank you
so
Hannes
much.
and Lone for joining me on this lovely adventure.
Thank you. Always a great time.
Happy to be here.
But for now, we shall head over there. Goodbye.
Peace.
See you there.